Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe. If you're old here and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you're just walking down the street, tell whoever you pass to subscribe to us. So today's video is actually about how to make your, I guess any year of college, but probably specifically more your freshman year of college, all that it can be despite the given circumstances, the fact that you guys will all be online for at least the fall semester, and sorry to break it to you, my prediction will probably be the whole year. These are going to be some tips that Diana and I actually both brainstormed. She's in a Zoom meeting and I got out early, so I will be doing this video by myself, but she also gave me ideas on this list. It's just top 5 tips for remote college. We feel you guys on this whole situation, it really sucks. We know what it's like to have classes over Zoom. I am interested to know the grading policy because for us it was mandatory pass-fail. So if you're a freshman at Barnard or Columbia, can you comment below what the grading policy is, just for curiosity reasons? Okay, so yeah, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so tip number 1 is pretty obvious. I'm sure you guys have thought of this one, but I think you should really do it. And that is to Zoom or FaceTime with who would have been your roommate, although you guys had singles. But like whoever would have been your roommate or whoever would have been on your floor or in your building, basically anyone you've made connections with, reach out to them and be like, hey, I know that we're not going to be in person. I was really looking forward to getting to meet you and I would love to FaceTime or Zoom or chat or call or whatever. Phrase it however you want, but I feel like people won't be like, oh my god, that's so weird. I feel like everybody understands the circumstances and everybody's still that social aspect of college. So I highly recommend that you do that, you reach out, and you can also do it in groups if you're like, you don't want to do a one-on-one FaceTime with a stranger, just like get a group together, text a few different people or whatever, and then be like, okay, let's do like a big Zoom. I just think that would be really fun. I think it's a great way to get to know who's in your class, really, like, and you know, knock on wood, you'll be meeting these people sophomore year. So yeah, I would say try to forge those relationships despite our virtual circumstances. So tip number 2 is kind of an extension of tip number 1. All right, so obviously being as safe as possible and taking all necessary precautions, wearing a mask, sitting 6 feet apart, blah, blah, blah. If it is feasible for you, I would say meet up in a park, socially distance outside somewhere with someone who's going to be in your class who lives near you. So in like the Facebook group for your college, I'm sure people were introducing themselves. Sometimes there's subgroups for like, I don't know, like people from Chicago going to Barnard, whatever, plug in your college in your town. Or you can just do a post if you're in like a group meet or whatever, anywhere, you can be like, hey, I live in blah, blah, blah. Does anybody around that area want to meet up here? Because I think like FaceTime and Zoom, it will only get you so far. Like it's a great option if you want to be really cautious or, you know, your home situation doesn't allow you to meet up with people in person. But if you can, I think seeing someone in person is really nice. And like if they live near you too, you can, I don't know, like have a school buddy and like do your schoolwork together and kind of make it mimic real college a little bit more. So that's the second tip. All right, tip number 3 is more of an academic tip for virtual classes. So Diana and I were just discussing what worked and what didn't for us over Zoom. Granted, like I said, our grading policy was pass-fail, so it was pretty hard to fail. But I think to really actually learn and get everything you can out of remote learning, you need to treat it as if you were actually in the classroom. So you need to put your phone away, you need to disable texting on your laptop, you know, block Instagram if you have to, do a browser where you can only like be on Canvas or whatever. You guys are tech savvy, you know what I'm talking about. I think that's really important because when you're online all day, there's so many distractions because it's World Wide Web and there's so much going on out there. How would you want to be treated if you were teaching a class, you know? And also, I did hear a rumor that like professors can see when you're in a different tab other than Zoom. I don't know if it's true, so just like feign that you're paying attention at least, but really if you want to get the most out of remote learning, pay attention, actually take handwritten notes, really try to learn as if you were in the classroom. Also, in the vein of academics, my fourth tip is to schedule one-on-ones with your professors or your advisors. If you are in person, your professor has office hours, basically just an open door hour every week where you can go in, ask academic questions, ask questions about exams, material, discuss things. Same with your advisor, discuss your schedule, your graduation plan, career path, whatever it may be. And I think you can still utilize all of those things and forge those relationships with your professors and advisors remotely, but it just will take a little bit more effort. So if your professor or advisor doesn't make it explicit, their office hours with Zoom or whatever, reach out to them, email, however you contact them, be like, hey, I want to schedule this one-on-one. I have a question about this, or I'd love to discuss this, because I think it shows a lot of interest and it shows that you're trying to work with the situation as best you can. And also, like I said, I don't know the grading policy, but if you guys do not have mandatory pass-fail and you're actually being graded, I feel like this is a great way to finesse that higher grade. I mean, don't think of it that way. Like, you want to be learning and you want to be forging these relationships no matter what, but I do think it's a good way to differentiate you from the rest of the class. They'll remember you because it's like, oh yeah, that girl Diana wanted to schedule a one-on-one with me to talk about this. Like, she's very engaged with the material. So I think that's a really good tip. All right, the fifth and final tip is to collaborate with people in your Zoom classes. So for us, it was a little bit hard because we only had Zoom classes from like mid to end of March to May. And like Zoom class is a strong term. Like, everyone was new to the situation. It was just very like haphazard. Not a lot of learning was going on, if we're gonna be honest. And like, that's no fault of anyone's. Like, it was a weird time and people were frazzled and everything. But that being said, given the fact that you guys have at least a semester, I think they said a semester and possibly a whole year, for at least for Barnard and Columbia remote, I think that you can really work on getting to know the people in your class. So especially with things like seminars, first year writing or first year seminar for Barnard freshmen, my point is, especially with Zoom calls where there's fewer people, you can get to know people, and then like if you have an assignment or whatever, you can work on it outside of class together the same way that you would if you were in person. So utilize the other people in your class to your advantage, work together, get to know them. It's a great way to get to know friends. In our How to Make Friends as an Introvert video, we said to use classes as that medium, meet people and get to know them. So I think you can still do that with remote learning. It'll just be a little bit, definitely a little bit more awkward, but you can be like, hey, do you want to meet before this test and go over the study guide or make a shared Google Doc, whatever. I think you can still make friends that way. And everyone's in the same boat once again, so no one's gonna be like, who is this weirdo? Hopefully, if they are like that, you don't need them in your life. Anyways, I think that is a great academic and social tip, kind of all in one. Alrighty, so that is it for this video. I discussed with Diana maybe her doing a video on like, should you take a gap year or a leave of absence if your college is online this fall, especially as a freshman? And I think this is a really interesting question, and Diana and I actually have like different answers to it. If you guys would want to see that, let us know. I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if people are thinking about taking a gap year now because of this announcement. Basically, just leave your thoughts below. I'm so curious. When I read the email about what Barnard and Columbia was doing, I was like, interesting how it's right after tuition is due. I don't know. I would have many a thought if I were in your guys' shoes, especially if I were a freshman. So I'm just really curious. DM us on Instagram at MJDandNYC with your thoughts. I would love to know. You can ask us questions there too, like more personal questions. Like this video if you like it. Also leave requests below too. We can do other like remote college themed stuff because, you guys are remote now and we did have that time remote at the end of our senior year. So if there's any more specifics, like something I touched on here that you want a whole video on, definitely let us know. Okay, I love you guys so much. Bye.